Hello, hello, sweet yogis. Welcome to your daily practice. My name is Julie Arce. I'm excited to have you here for this opportunity to flow together, practice yoga together. If you are new at yoga, go ahead and put it in the chat box. Hi, Alyssa. It's great to have you here. Let me know your experience level with yoga. If you're new to the practice, if you've been practicing for a while, that will give me confirmation that you can hear me, but also give me some insight of where you are on your yoga journey. So welcome to all the yogis here. Happy Friday. I hope that you're having a beautiful, beautiful day. So Augusta from Pueblo, Mexico. Love Mexico, love tacos. Jennifer from Ohio. Great to have you here. So let me know where you're at in your yoga journey. If this is maybe your first class, if you've been practicing for a while. Cheryl from King Island, welcome. I'm so excited to have all of you here. Santa Cruz, California, from New Jersey. Cheryl's been practicing for 40 years. That's amazing. That's so great. Scarlett from Colorado, welcome back. Natalie, hello. Your experience from Ontario, Canada, for 20 years. Wow. Looks like some of you guys have been practicing for quite some time. Augusta says for 5 years. Good. Never to yoga daily. Okay, no worries. All right, so Connecticut. So the practice that we're doing today is a Vinyasa flow practice. So Vinyasa is an active practice. We can at some points be moving one breath, one movement. So just know that we'll start it out slow. We'll build it up to a peak, and then I'll give you a great cool down, some meditation, and also a great Shavasana as well. If you are new to the practice, sometimes it takes a while to condition the ligaments, the tendons, to get them used to the practice, even the muscles, right? So know that if you need to come out of a pose, join back in, you're more than welcome to do that. You can come into a child's pose, which I'll show you child's pose pretty soon. You could also lie down and then join back in whenever you're ready. It's okay to ebb and flow out of your practice if you need some time. And so in yoga, we like to say that as long as we're mindfully moving and we're deeply breathing, then we're practicing. So whether you come into the pose at full expression or modifications of the pose, you're still getting all of the benefits that the poses have to offer. Really great to just have all of you here. To see your experience level, 25 years, 15 years, 15 years, that's just amazing. It's really incredible that this practice is so profound that you keep coming back to it for that many years. I've been practicing, I think this is my 14th year, which seems like a lifetime. I can't imagine living, especially in these times, without yoga. Yoga has really helped me emotionally, it's helped me mentally, and also physically. So I have a 2-year-old baby that likes to keep me really active, and coming into yoga helps me just to be a better mom. When I am able to spend this hour to nurture myself, take care of myself, then it just gives me more capacity to be present with my family. We just want to once again thank Insight Timer for opening this platform, for giving us a space to connect and to be together. So Insight Timer does a great job of bringing us together, just allowing us to connect. And so this class is a free class. However, we do take donations. Those donations are appreciated for support of the platform. They also help me and my family out. We have a little yoga studio. We opened up right before the pandemic. We signed our lease in January when the news just started opening about COVID, and then spent January, February getting things ready, and then it closed down about 2 months or 2 days rather after we opened. So we're holding on to that space, and those donations that you give, me teaching virtually, helps us to support that space so that hopefully someday soon we can open our doors and invite people into the space. So I just really appreciate all of you being here. I hope that you just have this next hour to connect with your own body, your own mind, your own heart. I read a quote today, and it says that joy is the unification of the heart and the soul. And so I hope at some point during this practice together, you are able to experience joy where you have that unification of heart and soul. Let's go ahead and start. So we'll start in a seated position. You can sit with your legs crossed. Get as long as you can through your spine. And sit with your back as straight as you can. Placing your hands onto your lap. Palms can be up or palms can be down. Good. Gently and seal your lips. And closing your eyes and take a few deep breaths here. And just breathing in and out through your nose. And taking this opportunity to become present into your practice. Now, see if you can stop controlling the breath. Just allow for the breath to be natural. Allow for the breath to be long, deep inhales, slow, deep exhales. Let these inhales and exhales be as long as they can. As long as they're comfortable, drag them out. Now become aware of the parts of your body that are in contact with the ground. Notice the parts of your body that are in contact with the ground. And send your breath there. Give yourself this space to observe what happens. When you're sending your breath there, does it feel like you're floating, or does it feel like maybe you're getting heavier? And shift your awareness to the left side of your body. And visualize your energy radiating through the left side, through your left leg, your left hip, your left side body, left shoulder, left arm, left side of your neck, left side of your face. Notice how your body feels. Does it seem to be expanding when you bring the awareness to the left side? And do that on the right side. And feel your right leg. And from your toes, your calves, and quadricep, your right hip. And breathe into your right side body, your ribs, your right shoulder, your right arm, and the right side of your face. And observe how the energy expands on the right side. Good. Bring your awareness now to the back of your body. Not just your hips, your low back, your upper back, but also Achilles tendons, your calves, hamstrings, right and left glute, lumbar spine, thoracic. Feel the back of your neck and the back of your head. And breathe into that space and allow for expansion. And bring your awareness now to the front of your body. And tops of your feet, your shins, quadriceps, hip flexors. And breathe into your belly, your chest, your throat, your face. And feel the whole front side of your body expanding. How does the energy feel when you bring awareness here? Now the top of your body. Can you feel the crown of your head? And tops of your shoulders. Feeling and expanding through the top of your body. and skyward facing. Now breathe into your whole body, a complete entity. From underneath, left side, right side, back of your body, front of the body, top of your body, all directions. Allow for your breath to come into your body like little love notes. My theme for you today is radical self-acceptance. As we go through this practice and maybe doubts creep in, and competition, could have, should have, would have, can you allow yourself to accept yourself radically today and to have radical self-acceptance? Now go ahead and open your eyes and roll your shoulders up and then back a few times. And bringing yourself back into this present space. And inhale, bring your hands up overhead, palms connect. As you exhale, come down to the left, your right arm rainbows up and over. And breathe into your right side body. Inhale, both hands come back up overhead. As you exhale, come down to the right, left arm rainbows up and over. And creating space, sending those little love notes of breath into the left side. And inhale, rise back up, hands come up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down. Let's find a tabletop pose. Tabletop, bringing your hands directly underneath of your shoulders. Knees come down onto the mat, tops of your feet come down onto your mat. Now bring your toes together, sit your hips onto your heels, coming back into child's. Child's pose is a great place to come into. If you need a little bit of a break throughout the flow today, come into this position or lying down. Walk your hands forward so much so that you're stretching through your side body. Walk your upper body over to the right, keeping your hips where they're at, stretching through the left side. Bring your hands back into center, forehead comes back to center. And now second side, walk your hands over to the left, allow for your head to follow. Keeping your forehead, tip of your nose onto your mat. Your ears are in between your biceps. Make your way back into center. As you come into center, walk your hands forward. And taking some half sun salutations, hinge it forward, coming into a kneeling plank pose. Kneeling plank, feel your hands rooted down onto the ground, tops of your feet or onto your mat. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, your navel's into your spine. Lower down all the way to the ground, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale to a baby cobra. Baby cobra, the legs are squeezing together, tops of your feet are onto your mat. Kind of like you have a cobra tail here. Pull your elbows closer together, lifting, peeling your torso up. Maybe you're coming up to belly button height. See if you can create more space between your ears and your shoulders. Good. Sit your hips back onto your heels, coming back into child's pose. Child's pose, we'll do this a few more times, going one breath, one pace. Inhale, move forward into kneeling plank. Exhale, lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra, lifting your torso up off the mat. Exhale, back to child's pose. Sit your hips onto your heels. Last one here. Root down through your hands, hinge it forward, coming into your kneeling plank. Feel your core activated and strong. Lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, shine your heart towards the horizon. Exhale, hips come onto your heels, child's pose. Child's pose. Go ahead and tuck your toes, send your hips high for downward facing dog. Downward facing dog would look like an upside down V shape. Our feet are hip distance apart. Our hands are firmly rooted down into the ground. We're rolling our shoulders away from the ears to create stability within the joint. We'll be in this pose a lot today, coming in and out of it. But anytime you need a break, you can always come onto your knees. Let's go ahead and walk our feet forward and coming into ragdoll. Ragdoll, your feet are hip distance apart. Root your right hand underneath of your face. Twist and open towards the left. Bend your right knee a whole lot. Left leg straightens out. Gazes up towards your left hand. Release your left hand down. The left hand comes directly underneath of your face. Twist and turn towards the right. This time your right leg is straight, your left leg is bent. Gazes up towards your right hand. Release your right hand down. Feet are still hip distance apart or wider. Bend your knees a whole lot. Now bring your hands to the small of your back. Interlace your fingers. Palms are connected. Start to hinge so that your gaze comes to the horizon behind you. Your hands begin to float away from your hips. And breathe the softness into your shoulders, just allowing for gravity to take hold over. And release your hands to the small of your back and then release them all the way down to the ground. Heel toe your feet together so that big toe mounds are connected, little space between your ankles. Inhale, halfway lift a flat back. Pretend there's an apple between your chin and your chest. Pull the crown of your head forward. Go to exhale, fold, release it down. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. Your hands can be onto your shins, they can be hovering into space. Exhale, fold, release it down. With your core engaged, a flat back, drop your hips, circle, sweep your hands up overhead, upward salute. Hands come up overhead. Bring your hands into Namaskar, into Heart Center. As you're bringing your hands into Namaskar, into Heart Center, slight tuck of your chin, slight smile on your face. And the theme for today is radical self-acceptance. I accept myself as I am. Inhale, bring your hands up overhead, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, hands come all the way down to the ground. And step it back into plank pose. As you come into plank, you always have options. You can stay in high plank. You could also lower down onto your knees for a kneeling plank. Choose the spice level appropriate for your practice today. Lower down, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, keep your thighs lifted up off of the mat, arms are straight. But exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog will start to turn up the heat. Inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low. Make your way to the top of your mat. You can hop, step, or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Drop your hips, circle, sweep the hands up overhead, reach. Exhale, hands come into Namaskar. Pausing here. Inhale, hands rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Hop, step, or float back. If you're hopping back, land low, plank pose, chaturanga. Lower down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale, heels high, shins hover. Look to your hands, hop, step, or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Drop your hips, circle, sweep your hands up overhead. Hands come into Namaskar. Last one, inhale, bring your hands up overhead, reach up. Exhale, earth touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, hop, step, or float back, hopping back, land low, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale, heels high, exhale, knees low, look forward, make the way to the top of the mat. Listen carefully, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Bring your biceps by your ears. Sit deep into your chair. Can you look down and see your toes? If you can, push your hips towards the wall behind more. Want natural curves of the spine. Means slightly tucking the tailbone under, slightly lifting the pubic bone forward. Good, sit 2 inches deeper. And breathe. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Option to meet in down dog or go through your vinyasa flow. Hop, step, or float back. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale, right leg reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your right elbow to your right knee, hold it. 3, 2, wonderful. Inhale, right leg lifts. Bring your right foot to your right thumb. Back foot roots down at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Hands come up overhead. Warrior one, bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Palms are connected. Good. Straighten your arms out. Let's make our way into humble warrior. Breathe in deeply. As you exhale, right shoulder comes to your right knee. Allow your hands to float away from your low back. Gaze is up towards your belly button. Hips and shoulders stay square. Good. Humble warriors, rise up. Hands come up overhead. Reach through your fingers. Moving with your breath. Exhale, release your hands down to your mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left plank. Plank, you can go through your vinyasa or go into downward facing dog. Lower it down. Keep your elbows in. Inhale, open to the horizon. Exhale, roll over your toes, down dog. Downward facing dog, inhale, left leg, reach it up. Create more space. Can you lift up 3 inches higher? Bring your left elbow, left knee, hold it here. 3, 2, wonderful. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Step it through, warrior one. Bring your back foot down so it's at a 45-degree angle. And then hands come up overhead. Your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Palms are connected. Lengthen through your arms, lift through your chest. But be luminous. Left shoulder to your left knee. Gaze comes up towards your belly button. Breathe into your shoulders. Feel the expansion as they open. Next inhale, rise. Hands come up overhead. Exhale, release your hands down. And step your left foot back to meet your right. Option to vinyasa flow or meet into downward facing dog. Warriors, it's time to dance. Inhale, right leg comes up towards the sky. As you exhale, bring your right knee, right elbow. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Warrior one, open it up, warrior two. Warrior two, adjust your back foot, taking a wider stance. Push through the pinky side of your left foot. Gaze is over your right fingertips. Reach forward. Now reverse your warrior. Right arm comes up towards the sky. Breathe into your ribs on the right side, just like we did at the start of our practice. Breathing in radical self-acceptance. Right elbow to your right knee. Left arm reaches up. Have your arms at 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Gaze is up toward your left palm. Reverse it. Exalted warrior. Take a big breath into the right side. Move with your breath as you exhale. Cartwheel hands down to your mat. And step your right foot back to meet your left. Plank pose. And plank, you know it. Either come into your downward facing dog or flow. Lower it down. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go high, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 full deep breaths. One more. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, left elbow, left knee, hold it. 3, 2, wonderful. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, step your left foot to your left thumb. Rise up, warrior one. Warrior one, open it up, warrior two. And take a wider stance in your warrior two to allow for the hips to open to the long edge of your mat. And the shoulders are stacked over your hips. You're actively reaching for both horizons. Shoulders come back and down. Be fierce. Flip the palm of your left hand to reach and reverse. You notice how your legs want you to rise up and stay in it, building perseverance and strength. Bring your left elbow to your left knee, right arm comes up towards the sky, side angle. Roll the right shoulder back, left shoulder forward, spiraling your heart up towards the sky. Exalt your warrior, breathe into your ribs on the left side, sending love and light into the dark places. Cartwheel your hands down to your mat. Vinyasa flow or downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, breathe. Downward facing dog, inhale, right leg reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, right elbow, right knee, hold it. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Set your right foot to your right thumb, warrior one. Going one breath, one movement. Warrior one, open up, warrior two. Warrior two, flip the palm of your right hand, reach and reverse. Good, side angle, right elbow to your right knee, left arm comes up towards the sky. Roll your left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Release your left hand to the inside of your right foot. And twist and turn open towards the right side of your mat. Roll your right shoulder back. And step your right foot back, moving into side plank. Side plank you can modify by lowering your left knee down onto your mat. You can stay with both legs lifted up. You can also intensify by lifting your aerial leg. Release your right hand down. Square your hands underneath of your shoulders. Move into dolphin pose. Come down onto your forearms. Walk your feet towards your face. Dolphin pose, breathe. Lower down onto your knees and find a passive child's pose. Before we go into the second side. Passive child's pose, place your forehead onto your mat. Hands come back by your ankles. Bring your hands forward and rise up tabletop. Tabletop, tuck your toes, hips go high, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale, left leg reaches up. Find length through your left side. Can you reach it an inch or two higher and still keep firm through your hands? Bring your left elbow, left knee, hold it. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Moving one breath, one movement. Exhale, left foot to your left thumb, rise, warrior one. Warrior one, open it up, warrior two. Warrior two, flip the palm of your left hand, reach and reverse it. Good, side angle, left elbow to your left knee, right arm comes up. Release your right hand down and shift so that all 10 toes are pointed towards the top of your mat. You're rooted down through your right hand, twist and open towards the left. These twists are detoxifying for the body, which is great. Then keep your right hand rooted down. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Stacking your feet. You could also lower your right knee down onto the mat. Continue to push your right hand down and lift up through your hips. Another breath. And release your left hand down. Both hands are underneath of your shoulders. Find a dolphin pose. Come down onto your forearms. Walk your feet towards your face. If you have a forearm balance in your practice and you want to move into that, now's the time. Release your knees down. So for our practice today, I planned moving you into crow pose. Crow is one of our first arm balances that we usually go into when we start practicing yoga. So I'll go through it, give you a little bit of playtime. You can experiment with it if you like. Maybe you're familiar already with crow, and if that's the case, if there's an arm balance that you want to move into, now's your time to do that. Your core is nice and warmed up for it. So our crow pose, we typically start from a malasana, a low squat, where we're sitting like this, also known as garland pose. The hips are down. Then we bring the elbows to the insides of the knees, lengthen up through the spine. So our crow does take a lot of shoulder stability, core strength, and also some open hips. After you get into this position, you can release your hands forward onto the mat, about shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers really wide, activating your Hasta Bandha. Hasta Bandha is our hand lock. So the hands are rooted down firmly. We're pushing through the knuckles. And then we have this imaginary suction cup underneath of the palms. Bring your thumbs in just slightly. This will help to put pressure off of the wrist. Your wrist creases are parallel to the top of your mat. Now bring your elbows as high as you can up into your triceps. So once we're in this position, we start to tilt forward some. You want to come forward so that your forearms are parallel with the wall behind you. So start to play around with the balance. We're coming forward. And a lot of times people are scared to go too far forward. Your face is in a triangle with your hands. So your hands are back. Your face will come more forward. We're not touching it down onto the ground, but imagine your head, your face, and your hands making a triangle. So you go more forward than you think that you need to. The other trick is to look forward. If you look back, you're going to roll and somersault onto your face. So start to hinge forward. We're coming forward, tippy toes. Just lift one set of toes. See how that feels. And if you feel like you could float, lift the second set of toes, bringing the toes together. So we also have another lock within the body called the Mula Bandha. And you'll feel the contraction in the pelvic floor lifting up when you start to move forward. So hands root down, knees are high up into your shoulders, firmly root into your hands, and then start moving forward, look forward, look forward. Lift one set of toes, and if you can, the second set. If you're scared of falling, practice it on some carpet or even in the grass, or place a pillow underneath of your face. So I'll give you a little bit of opportunity to play around with your crow. And if crow's not for you, it's not for everybody, you could grab a drink of water and meet in child's pose, or do your other arm balance that you would like. If you're interested in arm balances, you can always let me know. It's something I like to do as well, so we can always play around with arm balances if that's something you're interested in. Once you're ready, go ahead and come into a child's pose. Sit your hips onto your heels. And bring your hands back by your ankles, just allowing for a little bit of recovery time. Our arm balances can increase the heart rate, so use this opportunity to slow the heart rate down using your breath. Now walk your hands forward, root down through your hands, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches up towards the sky, find the length. Bring your right foot forward, crescent lunge. All 10 toes are pointed towards the top of your mat. And then inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge, open it up, warrior two. Warrior two, straighten your right leg out. Then reach forward and now tilt. Bring your right hand down for triangle. Left arm comes up towards the sky. And check in with your right knee. If you notice that you're hyperextending your right knee, lift up through your kneecap. So contract the quadricep and keep your knee safe. But inhale, rise up. Pivot the toes of your right foot facing forward. Moving into a goddess pose. Bring your heels in, your toes out, and then sit back and down into your goddess. Bring your upper back, your entire back rather, parallel to the wall behind you. So goddess, bring your hands onto your thighs. And now push into your thighs, getting as much space as you can in your torso. Bring your right shoulder towards your left knee. I don't know about you, but for me, this feels divine. Bring yourself back to center. And bring your left shoulder in towards your right knee. Breathe into it. Make your way back into center. As you inhale, rise up, star pose, reaching in every direction. Giving yourself permission to take up space. Good, exhale, goddess pose. Goddess pose, bring your hands into namaskar. We also call this horse stance for the men. Go ahead and lift up on your right heel. Right heel, lift up onto your right toe, lifting your heel up. And then the left. We'll pulse it here. Continue to pulse it, building strength within your thighs, within your legs. Good, inhale, rise up, star pose, legs straighten out, arms expand. Bring your arms parallel with the earth. Pivot facing towards the left side this time. And triangle second side. Reach forward, triangle pose. And now tilt. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up towards the sky. Energetically pull your heels closer together. Check in with your right leg. Your right leg is firm, and keeping your knee protected. Bring yourself back up. Arms come parallel with the earth. Pivot the toes of your left foot forward. Bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Palms are connected. Straighten through your arms. Lift up through your chest. Breathing in radical self-acceptance. Exhale. Hinge at your hips and fold. Gaze comes up towards your belly button. Allow for your hands to float away from your glutes. Be here for just another breath or two. Rise up halfway and change the grip on your hand, taking the opposite hand on top, interlacing your fingers. Pull your arms long, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold back into it. Taking the counterintuitive grip through your hands. And surrender in this pose. Good. Inhale, rise up, keeping your back straight the entire way. Pivot facing towards the top of your mat. Release your hands on either side of your right foot. Step your left foot in, moving into pyramid pose. So our left foot is about 3 feet of space between our two heels. Pull your right hip back and down. Your left hip up and forward, squaring off through your hips. Good, your spine is straight. You can bend your knee as much as you need to, your right leg as much as you need to in this pose. With a straight spine, hinge at your hips till you feel the sensation. Right kneecap stays lifted up, right quadricep stays engaged. This will protect through your knees still. Another breath. Good. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. Step your right foot back 3 feet behind you. Your right foot's at a 45-degree angle. Pull your right hip up and forward, left hip back and down. Square off through your hips. You're scissoring through your thighs. Lengthen through your spine. Flat back. Move into the space as it's created. Is there firmness through your left leg? Good. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Have your feet about hip distance apart. Grab onto your big toes for a big toe pull. Lengthen up through your spine. Your arms are straight. Your back is straight. Your chin's away from your chest. Bend your knees as much as you need to get a hold of your big toes. Once you're a hold of the big toes, start to hinge yourself so your gaze is towards the wall behind you. Once you're looking towards the wall behind, pull your elbows to the outer edges of the room and pull the crown of your head down towards the earth. Over time, the legs will get straighter and straighter. Be gentle on your hamstrings so they're not talking to you later on tonight and tomorrow. Release your big toes. Step your left foot back. We're in a low lunge here. Release your left knee down. Heel toe your right ankle now to your left wrist. Allow for the shin to just fall down onto the mat. Take a look back at your left leg. Lift your left knee up off of the mat. Release the top of your left knee down. Release the top of your left foot down. Good, we'll do that another time or two. Tuck the toes of your left foot. Lift your left knee up off of your mat. Release your left knee down. Release the top of your left foot down. And one more time. And we're taking a long, deep breath. Lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, release down. And check in with your right knee. If you're feeling pain or pressure in your right knee, bring your heel closer into your groin. As you come into this pose, can you come back to radical self-acceptance? Where we're at right now, radical self-acceptance, letting the belly go, not pulling the belly into the spine. It's okay. And taking in more oxygen, more prana, more life force. Bring your hands underneath of your shoulders, start to rise up. Sit onto your glute on the right side, swing your left leg up and over, moving into our Gomukhasana, our cow face pose. So in this posture, you can extend your right leg out long in front of you. You could also have both heels tucked in. If it's painful for you to come in with the right leg straight or the sits bones don't anchor down, extend the right leg out. Bring your right arm up towards the sky. Bend your right fingertips down your spine. Left hand comes underneath. This is a great place to have a strap or a washcloth so that if the hands don't connect, you can use that. If the hands aren't connecting, you can also place your hand onto your elbow. Either of those options. Now check in here. This is feeling like a lot of sensation. Stay here. But if your body's craving more, start to hinge forward. This will give you more sensation, turning up the spice in the pose. Good, inhale, rise up. Magic trick. We all need a little bit of magic in our lives, so I'm going to take you through a magic trick today. Bring your hands over to the right side. So not the leg that's on the top, but the leg that's on the bottom. Bring your hands to the right side. Keep both feet right where they're at, but spin yourself all the way around into a 360-degree circle. So your opposite leg, now your right leg is on the top, the left leg is on the bottom. Bring your left arm up towards the sky, bend your left fingertips, bring them down the spine, right hand comes underneath. Now this side is usually harder for most people. I think that it has to do with the dominant side of the body. So if the hands don't connect, once again, just place your hand onto your elbow. You'll get the same benefits within the pose. Lengthen up through your spine. But exhale, hinge at your hips if you want more sensation. So this posture is called cow face. I'm not quite sure why. Doesn't really look like a cow face to me. Let's go ahead and inhale, rise up. Swing your right leg back behind, moving into our pigeon on the second side. So our left shin is forward this time. Left knee is to the outside of the left wrist. And check in with your back leg. Do that a few times where you're lifting up through your knee, releasing the top of your right knee down, releasing the top of your right foot. Do that 2 more times on your own. This helps us to square off through our hips and find that deep sensation before we come all the way into our sleeping pigeon. My last one here. And turn your focus back forward through your spine, taking a big breath in. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, folding into it. As you come into your sleeping pigeon, just check in with your left knee. So sometimes the left knee or the knees can talk to us in this pose. If that's happening for you, take a modification by bringing the heel close into the groin. That's what I do. To also come into alternative pigeon on your back. Bring your hands underneath of your shoulders, rise up. Sit onto your left glute, swing your right leg forward. All right, so let's go ahead and move into cradle the baby. So for cradle the baby, you're going to bring your right leg up. I'll give you a couple of options. You can place the sole of your left foot onto your mat and then bring your right ankle onto your leg there. Even bringing the hands back behind for support. So this is the first step of the pose. This is a great place to be, opening through the glutes, the outer hip, just like we did in pigeon. The other option for my yogis that have been practicing for a while, I'm going to give you a fun posture called half compass. So we can place the foot into the elbow crease. We have the toes flexed in towards the knee. Just opening up through the hips here before we move into the next part of the practice, next part of the pose. So if this is feeling like it's good, you've had enough, stay here. Next part of the pose is to place your right foot into your left hand and then bring your right leg up and over your shoulder like you're wearing a backpack. You can plant your right hand into the mat, grab onto your big toe, and then start to extend the right leg out. Your head kind of pops through here. This is called our half compass pose. Your hamstrings and your hips should be nice and warmed up for it. Kind of a fun pose to come into for my yogis that have been practicing for a while. Maybe you have that space. Now go ahead and release your right leg out. Let's do that on the second side. So first up, placing the right foot onto the mat, bringing your left leg up. So this was me for a long, long time in my practice, just slowly working on opening through the hips. So this is where you're at in your journey. And just know that, it's okay wherever you're at. It's totally fine. The next step, if you want to move onto that next phase, letting our practice be progressive, place your right foot into your left elbow crease. We're flexing the toes in. We're bringing the shin closer and towards the chest, preparing our body for half compass. But from here, grab a hold of your left foot with your right hand. Bring your left leg up and over your right shoulder, and then start to extend your left leg out. So the trick in this posture is your left glute will lift up off of the mat. If you're trying to keep the glute down, it doesn't really work that well. So lift it up, straightening out, breathing into it. But slowly begin to release out. And coming back into your cradle the baby for another breath. Okay, cradle the baby. Let's go ahead and come all the way down onto our back. You can do this by placing the soles of your feet onto your mat. Knees come up towards the sky. Scoot your bum towards your heels. And then since we're in that baby theme, let's go ahead and find happy baby. Bring your knees into your shoulders and grab onto your feet from the arch side. All 10 fingers are included into your grip. And then rock from side to side. Massaging your spine, muscles around your spine, and rocking it out. Release your left leg down. Flex the toes towards your nose. Bring your right leg in, your right knee into your shoulder, and interlace your fingers around your shin. Flex the toes of your left foot in towards your nose and anchor down both hips, both shoulders. Squeeze your right leg in. Squeezing in using the strength of your hands, your biceps, your triceps, squeeze in so tight. Release your right hand down. Guide your right leg up and over the left side of your body. Gaze comes over to the right as your knee comes over to the left. Right shoulder stays rooted onto your mat. Your hips are stacked. And breath is intentional. Now unwind, bring your right leg back up and over. And squeeze your right knee into your right shoulder, squeeze in tight. Now release your right leg down, let your heels touch, your toes fall open. Second side, bring your left knee into your left shoulder. And taking the counterintuitive grip, Changing the hand that's on the top, squeeze your left leg in, squeeze in tight. Flex the toes of your right foot in, anchoring down through both hips, both shoulders. And squeeze in so tight that your knuckles start to turn white. But release your left hand down. Use your right hand to guide your left leg up and over the right side of your body. Shift your gaze over to the left as your knee comes over to the right. Both hips are stacked, one on top of the other. That helps to keep the pelvis safe. Or not the pelvis, but the sacrum, the SI joint, sacrum. Start to unwind. Bring your left leg back up and over. Now squeeze your left knee into your left shoulder. Squeeze and tight. Feel the pinch through your hip. And now release your grip just enough to invite your right leg in to meet your left, grabbing onto opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. Squeeze your legs into your belly. And squeezing your thighs into your belly. Now squeeze your belly into your spine. Your spine flat down onto your mat. Squeeze in. And now lift your chin into your chest, making yourself into the tightest ball. Taking the biggest breath you have all of practice. In your mind, just knowing that you are worthy. Your existence proves that you're worthy. Squeeze in, holding tight, squeezing it in. You are worthy, you are enough, just as you are. Slowly begin to release out. Release your legs down. Let your heels touch, your toes fall open. And find your final Shavasana. Shavasana is our corpse pose, our final resting place. Let your legs go long, your heels touch, your toes fall open. And bring your hands beside you. This is arguably the most important pose of the practice. It allows for all the other postures that preceded it to integrate into the body, into the heart, into the soul. As we started our practice, knowing that when the heart and the soul connect, that is joy. Give yourself the space to just breathe and to be. And continue to just breathe and be in your final Shavasana. I brought a passage out of a book to read to you today. And the book is called Journey to the Heart by Melody Beatty. This is one of my favorite books. It's a daily meditation on paths to freeing your soul. And for January 8th, Melody wrote, "Love yourself until it's real." What does it mean to love yourself? To do nice, nurturing things for yourself? Yes, sometimes, but self-love runs deeper than that. Self-love means loving and accepting yourself, your thoughts, beauty, emotions, your faults, your imperfections and flaws, your strength, wit, wisdom, as well as your unique way of seeing the world. Loving yourself means accepting and loving each and every part of you. And knowing that you're worthy, you're valuable, and you're lovable. It means loving and accepting yourself when you're surrounded by people who love you. And during those times when you think everyone's gone away, when you wonder if God's gone away too. During one of the darkest paths of my life, Al Franken, a comedian and producer, asked me to write an introduction to the book he was writing, Stuart Smalley's daily meditation book. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. I wasn't able to do much during that time in my life except walk to my fax machine and tear off the curled up pages. I'd take the pages back to my bed, lie down, because I felt too shattered to stand, and read them. I'd laugh a little at Stuart's outrageous behavior, but the pages made me smile about something else too. Despite our search for sophisticated sage advice, advanced learning, sometimes it helps us to remember the simple wisdom of bumbling Stuart Smalley. Sometimes loving ourselves means accepting ourselves enough to tell ourselves other people like us and approve of us. Sometimes loving ourselves means approving of ourselves even when they don't. It takes courage to stop cowering and openly love, to accept and approve of ourselves. Don't just say the words. Love yourself until you experience that love. When you're ready, go ahead and make your way onto the side of your choice, moving into a fetal position. Allowing for your knees to draw in close. And take another breath in, sending tiny love notes to your body, to each cell. And finding that radical self-acceptance, forgiveness, and love. No need to rush. Find yourself in a seated position with your legs crossed. You can keep your eyes closed or downcast. And bring your hands into Namaskar, into heart center. And slight tuck of your chin, slight smile on your face. No one else has told you today. I hope that you know that you're a divine being of love, of light, of complexity, and you're perfect just the way that you are. It's always my honor, my privilege, my pleasure to guide you through your moving meditation, through your yoga practice. Hope to see each and every one of you again next week so that we can breathe together, flow together. If you would like to send this practice, the energy that you created, as a dedication to a person, a place, an idea, please go ahead and do that now. I honor the love, the light, the beauty, the truth, and the kindness within each and every one of you. And it's also within me. Sharing these things, there's no distance, no difference between us. We're the same, we are one. And thank you, sweet souls, for being here.